Joining us here on the News at 6, I'm Mike Sela. It is day 2 of jury selection for the murder trial of Alec Murdaugh. He is facing charges in the deaths of his wife Maggie and youngest son Paul. You'll remember they were found dead on the family's hunting property in June of 2021. Our Tyler Mannion has been in the courtroom all day and joined us now live from outside the Colleton County Courthouse. And Tyler, what are some of the big things we need to know about from day 2?
Good evening, Mike. The day started with our fourth and final pool of potential jurors making their way through the Colleton County Courthouse behind me here. Judge Clifton Newman ran them through a series of questions that he's asked each and every pool of jurors, and they answered. One of those questions being if they know or are acquainted with any of the 255 potential witnesses in this case. Now, as those jurors were narrowed down, they were brought to about 40 that qualified to move on for the next round of the jury selection process. That was our morning session, our first session of the day. But in the afternoon session, a slightly different topic took center stage, that being pre-trial motions. For the most part, the prosecution, defense, and judge agreed to deal with each piece of evidence individually as they come up in trial. But those agreements didn't come without some back and forth between attorneys. Take a listen.
You're not entitled to argue about financial ability to pay until you get a prima facie case of punitive damages, and that's what we say here. So he could file whatever he wanted, but to say whether Mr. Murdaugh thought that was a real threat or not, what he thought, and I will tell you that it's not consistent with the state of the law.
All parties agreed to tackle one motion today, deciding if ballistic evidence from shell casings found around the body of Maggie Murdaugh should be included in the trial. A SLED firearms identification expert with experience testifying in around 25 different trials was put on the stand and asked questions by both sides. Judge Clifton Newman decided at the end of that questioning that this topic and witness can be included in the trial and put in front of the jury. Now, that jury still has to be seated, and that's what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm told around 11 o'clock, about 122 jurors are going to be brought into this courtroom and further questioned so that they can seat the 18 that will be on this final jury and hear this case. Of course, 12 of those are regular jurors, 6 will be alternates. Now, I want to go back to what you just heard from Dick Harpootlian representing Alec Murdaugh. As he was giving that statement, Dick Harpootlian, I was watching his client, Alec Murdaugh, who was nodding along all the way. Guys, we're going to be looking to bring you as many details about this case as we can throughout it. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow and bring you more on jury selection. But for now, reporting live in Colleton County, Tyler Mannion, WTOC News.
And of course, we will have a team in Colleton County for the trial and bring you the latest updates on air and online. You can also find our coverage on WTOC Plus. We'll be streaming it live on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV, as well as our social media apps. This will all begin once jury selection is complete and opening statements get going.